Hi. I see people are already tuning in from YouTube. So, hi, Larry, Juliet, Kathy, John. I think I'm missing a few people here. Denise, Wendy, Diane. And there might be one more that I'm missing. If so, I'm sorry. Um, anyway, I hope everyone's having a great night and or day or morning or whatever time it is where you live, because we have people join in from all over the world. So we're having a thunderstorm and it's a pretty intense one. So you might hear some noise and stuff like that. But the other thing that you might hear is my dogs. My girl Callie does not like any thunder, any kind of storm. And so she's like been clinging around me like a tick, and then she'll like start barking. So I apologize in advance if that happens. So, Juliet, let's start off right away with a question here. I love that because that's what this is all about. You can ask me pretty much anything. I mean, you can ask me anything. Now, I might not answer everything, or I may not know the answer, but you can certainly ask me anything. But basically, let me just give you a little history of what the Q&A is. What I used to do is I went in my private Ninja Foodie 101 group on Facebook, and I would do a live Q&A every other Tuesday. And what I found was that it was great. It was very helpful, but I wasn't really reaching as many people as I wanted to. So when we were able to get better internet where I am now, I was able to expand that to YouTube and put it onto my Facebook business page, because people in groups sometimes can't find the lives. And it was just, people were like, I wanted to ask a question and I couldn't find you. So it's easier when I do it on Facebook on my business page and on YouTube at the same time. So we have two different feeds going. If you're watching on YouTube, you're probably not going to see comments from, if you're watching on YouTube, you're not going to see comments from Facebook. If you're watching on Facebook, you're probably not going to see comments on YouTube. So I'm going to put them up on the screen. And I try to do that all the time, but sometimes I forget. All right, so let's put the first one on. I'm still kind of new here. Can you give me a history of your cooking background? I love your shows and videos. All right, so my history is I've been cooking since I was a little girl, and my mom is a great cook. Definitely home cooking, nothing fancy. In fact, she thinks I'm a little too fancy, She's like, oh yeah, you're fancy cooking over there. I'm like, well, it's not really that fancy, Mom, but definitely my dad was meat and potatoes, and that is kind of what we had all the time with fresh vegetables from our garden and things like that. So I started cooking, I think when I was 10. I watched my mom, but when I was 10, she gave me an assignment. We always had things that we had to do. She's a teacher, okay? So, or was a teacher, she's retired. But so she gave me an assignment and she said, every Wednesday, I think it was Wednesdays, every Wednesday you have to make dinner. So she got me a little kid's cookbook and stuff like that. I might have even been younger than 10, but 10 sticks out in my mind. And I remember the first meal I made, it was spaghetti and hot dogs, like mixed together, like the hot dogs were the meatballs. And of course, I thought it was a masterpiece, and it was probably pretty horrible, but my parents loved it. And just, there's something, I don't know, so rewarding about putting a meal together and then putting it on the table for your family. And so I love that. And I loved cooking and experimenting. So fast forward a little bit, I graduated from nursing school. I'm a registered nurse, retired now. And I had to cook for my residents. I had an assisted living. So I was always cooking there, and I was always teaching my staff how to cook. They came from various countries. And so like I would learn from them, they would learn from me. And it was so much fun. So cooking, again, was a big part of my life. Then I opened a barbecue restaurant, which is kind of a funny story, but I'm not going to get into all that right now because that's like, it could take me an hour to tell that story. But got into opened up a barbecue. It was actually like a food truck before food trucks were really cool. And we did really well. And so I had a business partner, jerk, because it was an ex-boyfriend. He's a jerk. But anyway, he's part of the problem, but it doesn't matter. It's a long story. So then we moved to a little place in Baltimore. And this is like the funniest part about the restaurant. I loved every minute of it. Like, he did a lot of the recipe development. I did the desserts mostly, but I had a say in things, and I loved serving the customers. I loved feeding people. I loved opening the restaurant. I loved every bit of it. But where we went wrong, well, besides for him being a jerk, where we went wrong was it was a vegan neighborhood and we're doing barbecue. And our logo is not vegan nice either. Like, it wasn't even, I mean, it was like animals tied to a spit. You know what I mean? Like, people were not happy, but they still came to the restaurant to see me and to get my desserts. Right. And so I started offering some vegan options, vegetarian options, things like that. Anyway, it was a great community. I love them, but yeah, it didn't work out too well. So I retired from nursing. I had married my husband, Jeff, who you guys, if you don't know who he is, he's the behind the scenes guy mostly. He does all the video editing and videography and stuff like that for our videos. And we moved to Tennessee and I was retired. So I had a little food blog that I tried to, play around with and stuff. It's very hard to get those off the ground. It's very competitive on Google to get, your recipes seen. And somebody told me about the Ninja Foodie. And I said, okay, I'll try it. I was not like thinking, nope. I never cooked even in a slow cooker or pressure cooker, really. I mean, I dabbled with the Instant Pot, but very little. I was a stove oven, very old fashioned, long way around the block to get things done, that kind of stuff. And I was just blown away by it. I was like, this is like pretty cool how it does all these things and it does them well, which was shocking. So that's where I landed. And then I started doing recipes for it. My website took off. Jeff says, do some videos. I'm like, no, no, I don't really want to do videos. But anyway, we put a few out there. They went really well. And so here we are today doing it full time. Jeff still works full time. I do this full time. But so my cooking is not classically trained or anything like that. But I have a lot of fun and I've made so many mistakes over, let's see, if I've been cooking for, 40 some years now. Yeah, I've made so many mistakes that I can try to help people avoid them. So anyway, so that's my story. And if you have any other questions that you want me to expound on, I'm happy to do that. Hi, Kelly. Hi, Anidra. Hi, Elise. Hi, Marita. Hi, Abigail. Hi, Anne. Hi, Robin. Hi, Abby. Hi, Sylvia. Hi, Annie. Hi, Ramon. I think I'm saying that. I know I'm saying that right. But if not, because I know who you are, uh, but I keep messing it up. Like, I know it's not Raymond. I think it's Ramon. Ramon. But anyway, you correct me, okay? Hi, Petra. How are you? Petra says, I love your kitchen. Thank you. What you're seeing behind me right now is my test kitchen. So that's like, I don't even have a stove back there because most of my recipes aren't tested on a stove. I do have a stovetop in the filming area because I do stovetop recipes from time to time. And I have an oven in there, but most of this is just counter space. And you can see like all the appliances that I have out there. And I still run out of room. So I applaud everybody that cooks in tiny spaces because it's so hard to do. It really is. Hi, Rona. How are you? Hi, Bonnie. Bonnie's going to try to do a whole chicken in the new foodie tomorrow. You're going to do steam and crisp? That'll work out really well. I think you'll love it. All right. Patricia has a question. Do you love your Ninja pots and pans? I do. I really do. Okay, so I'm a stainless steel girl. Okay, so I like stainless steel. So all clad is my number one go-to cookware. Okay, hands down. But I really like the way that the Ninja pans brown. They do a good job for a nonstick. They do a good job, and really they are very nonstick. So that's kind of it makes it easy to clean up and everything. And I just got one and I haven't used it yet, so I don't know how it works, but there's a Pampered Chef kind of pot that's like a dual purpose. It's like stainless, so it browns like stainless, but it's actually non-stick. So I'm thinking it's going to work about the same as the Ninja pans, but I don't know. I got a wok because I don't have one, and I'm really horrible at using one, though. I will tell you that. Oops, I'm moving my table. Sorry. I'm really horrible at using a wok, but I'm going to give it a try. All right, next question. The Ninja Foodie Speedi, is it worth the buy? Well, okay. My first impression was kind of like on the fence. This sounds horrible, but it kind of reminded me of a grown-up Easy Bake Oven. It's cute. It's square. I like that it's square. It's cute. I thought it looked cheap at first. Excuse me. But actually, it's growing on me. And I do like it. But for the price, I would probably still stick with the Ninja Foodie pressure cooker and air crisper, especially if you could go up and get the one that has the one lid, and only because that gives you those steam crisp, steam bake proof, all those other options that some of the older two lid Ninja Foodies don't give you. So I don't think there's anything that you can do in the Speedi that you can't do in the Ninja Foodie with the smart lid, which is the OL series. But I haven't done comparisons. Okay. So it is a smaller space. It's 6 quarts instead of 6.5 or 8 quarts. It's square. So all these things are little small differences that might make a big difference in cooking. But until I really get into it and can compare how they both work, like if I put, for example, I just did a recipe for almond encrusted chicken breast. Okay. And they're air fried. They're absolutely delicious. I tested the recipe in the Ninja Foodie, but just using air fry. And it worked really well. And I thought, well, can I put it over to do it in the Speedi, but do steam and crisp or do the Speedi mode? It's kind of like steam and crisp, I guess, but it's called Speedi mode, I think. And set it so that I could actually do like pasta or risotto or something underneath. So I did a garlic risotto underneath, and I put frozen broccoli in there, and it worked. Now, I thought the bottom of the chicken was a little soggy because it had some steam coming up, and that kind of makes sense. But I think if I would have flipped it halfway through, I flipped it like 3/4 of the way through. And the top that had already set didn't get soggy again once I flipped it. So I'm thinking maybe if I flipped it halfway through, it would have been okay. So basically, I'm long-winded, but basically, I think it's worth it, but not if you have the Ninja Foodie OL series. I think the advantage, and I mean, I'm speaking like I don't have anything to do with Ninja Kitchen, so I'm kind of speaking out of turn a little bit here. But my impression maybe is that they did this one so people who were afraid of pressure cooking would have all the other functions, but not have that pressure cook feature. Because some people are like, I just don't want a pressure cooker, period. I'm never going to use it. So the price difference is I think, well, for the 6.5 quart, though, I think you can get the new ones for $200, and that's what the Speedies are. So, see, I would still go for the one that has the pressure cook option, but that's just me. But I mean, I'd probably hold off on it. If you have the Ninja Foodie or you might want a pressure cooker, only because I think there's some misconceptions about it. Like, I think everybody wants a magic pot, basically, which I think the Ninja Foodie is pretty close to it. But everyone wants a magic pot, and I think in the way that they do marketing, it makes it seem like you can basically throw anything in, flip the Speedi flip, hit start, and your food comes out in 15 minutes and it's perfect. That is not true, because really it depends on the ingredients that you're putting in, the time that they take. You have to set the temperature. So it's not quite as easy, I think, as they're making it appear to be. But, that's marketing. That's what they do. But it is fun. It is nice. It does work. I mean, I haven't had any problems with it. So I'm always one of those people. Like, I'm a little I'm a little slow to jump on things. Like I'm not the first one to buy anything, right? I want to hear and see. Well, now I am more than ever before because I try to buy it so I can get familiar with it so I can do a video on it. But usually like I mean I think I probably was, I don't know, bought an Instant Pot maybe 5 years ago, and they've been popular for a lot longer than that. So that's just who I am. Okay, next question. Yeah, this came up. I don't know if it was you, Raven. This came up on Tasty Tuesday. Would you ever film a video of you making a full dinner like Thanksgiving, Christmas, or Easter? I would. I just think, wouldn't that be boring? I don't know. I mean, I would because I would just do it live, right? Just figure out what I was gonna cook and just make it. But of course, with things like Thanksgiving, Christmas, or Easter, if you're serving a crowd, you do prep work. You do a lot of prep work, beforehand, and try to manage your dishes so that you have some cold, some hot, some that can be served room temperature, those kind of things. Um, and I wouldn't be cooking for a crowd because it's just me and Jeff. So, yeah, I mean, I would, but I don't know how many people would be interested in that. I guess you can let me know, but I have no problems if Jeff's home one holiday. We would love to just hang out and do it together. That'd be fun. Or would I do it beforehand so that people could like get some ideas? I don't know. So, those are all great questions for you guys. And one other thing I'm going to mention real quick is that my camera is up there, but you'll see me looking down a little bit. That is because I read the comments over here and I can't look at the green dot. Like my mind goes blank when I look at that green dot. It's like so weird. But if I look at my screen and I can see my kitchen in the background, it like, I don't know, I don't know, motivates me to answer questions and talk. But I stare at the green light. It's like, ooh, it's really strange. Okay. Hi Faith, how are you? Hi Colleen, how are you? Hi Pat, how are you? Scout and Choir, how are you? I'm glad you finally made it. That's awesome. Annie's a retired RN too. Well, that's awesome. I loved nursing until I didn't. That's just the truth. I loved it until I didn't. Um, Hi Justin, how are you? Or Justine, sorry. Jeff is at work right now, so he's not here, but I will tell him you said hi. Okay, Justine, I think I just went over that. So she's asking about thoughts on the Ninja Speedi, and I think I just went over that. So if you have any other specific questions, I'm happy to answer them, but I think I covered that one. Hey Doris, how are you? Scout and Choir, thank you so much. I'll put that up on the screen as I read down here. Hi Jackie. Hi Norma. Hi Robin. Hi Dustin Time. Hi Eileen. Hi Betty. Hi Sharon. All right, let's go ahead and put this up. Can you do some low calorie, low in sugar? I'm on a diet. I love to cook, but always have to watch what I can eat. I love your show. Okay, so this is the thing. That's so hard to say. Can I do some it low calorie? Like I do have a lot of low calorie. Well, I mean, that's so hard because portion size controls your calories. So, you're probably meaning like higher protein, lower carbs, lower fat kind of thing, which I do have recipes on my website and videos for them. This is the issue. People don't find them because they're just not as popular, even though they're there. Like today, I just filmed a keto pizza crust where I made a keto pizza. So delicious, so filling. So you will cut your calories because you're going to eat a lot less. Like, for example, it's an 8-inch pizza, which would be like a personal size pizza for most people. And my husband, Jeff, can eat half of a large pizza, like in one sitting. He can just eat half of it, like no problem. But this, because it's an almond flour crust, it's so much more filling that he ate 3 pieces of it last night. And he told me I should not have eaten that last one. I should have only eaten 2. And that's what we normally do. We split it. So you're eating 2 little pieces instead of, half of a pizza. And that's where things really, really will help. And then depending on what sugar you want to avoid. I mean, you can mostly, I mean, today with all of the different kinds of substitutes and stuff, you can always, substitute out some sugar for like Swerve or something like that or whatever else you want. But if you want to get away from sugar altogether, then and low calories, fresh vegetables, lean meats, that's the way to go. With some healthy carbs, like I like barley and things like that. So I do have them, but they just don't do very well for me. Hi, Vicky. How are you? Okay, Robin, what is my favorite ninja? I'm probably asked this every single time, and I just have to say it's the Ninja Foodie pressure cooker and air crisper, 2-lid model, 6.5 quart. I think it's the FD 302 or yeah, FD 302, I think, something like that. So that's just my go-to. I like the 1 lid. There's nothing wrong with it, but that's my baby. I mean, that's what I'm so used to it. So I love it. That's my favorite one. I think it does everything that I need, but I like the new models too, but definitely the pressure cooker and air crisper. And that's not everybody. Like some people like the grill more. I am not a griller. I never was. So to me, it doesn't really have much of an appeal. Ramon. There we go. All right. He's telling me how to pronounce it. Thank you very much. Okay. This is a good question. I see, and it's probably going to make you guys laugh. My answer. I see an Ninja Creami in the background. I'm consider purchasing. What should I know before buying? A lot of trial and error. That's what I would say. Like at first I could not stand it. I thought it was the most expensive do nothing machine ever. I didn't even really want to buy it, to be honest, because I have an ice cream maker. And I thought, what am I going to do with this thing? But I got to thinking that, if I could like blend yogurt and stuff like that and make like really healthy type of, that seems like ice cream, but really isn't, low sugar, low fat, those kind of things, that I would be so happy. But I end up with astronaut dust all the time. Excuse me. All the time. And what I mean by astronaut dust. Cheers, by the way, and I will tell you what's in this cocktail because it is so good in just a minute. So, astronaut dust. The idea, if you don't know what the Ninja Speedi is, I'm not the Ninja Speedi, the Ninja Creami. I mean, these names are just, they crack me up. The Ninja Creami. Okay. It is like you make your ice cream base with whatever you want, blend it up. You can have small chunks, but it's not like you would just put yogurt and fruit in there and then freeze it, or just put all fruit and then freeze it. You kind of want to mix it up a little bit. Then you freeze it overnight, and then you put it into this machine and you hit spin, and it spins this blade down, and it really finely like shaves everything up. And in theory, it's supposed to make a creamy ice cream. That's not like ice crystal-y and stuff like that. Okay, but it doesn't do it for me. It doesn't. What it does is it makes astronaut dust. And that is this light, airy, fluffy, almost, it reminds me when you take a bite of it, it almost reminds me of the frozen like astronaut ice cream. What are they called? Dots or something? You know what I'm talking about? Like freeze dried. That's what it reminds me of. And now I just made a key lime cheesecake, keto, a keto key lime cheesecake ice cream. And I spun it before Jeff went to work today because I made it yesterday. And every single time I have to make a little well, I have to pour a little bit more liquid in to get it to that creamy consistency. Now that's not the end all be all, but I'm trying to create recipes that people don't have to do that with. But I would say 9 times out of 10, I get astronaut dust and then I have to fix it. And you fix it by adding more liquid or spinning again, letting it sit out to melt a little bit, those kind of things. So that's what you need to know. Just get ready to experiment. But it's fun to experiment. The only real downside for me is that it takes too long. I'm experimenting one day, I make it, and I got to wait till the next day to spin it. that's my attention span's not that long, So, but it is fun, but it's hard to test a recipe for it because each failure, which is I've got more failures than successes with the thing. It's days and days and days, weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks to test a recipe in it. So I still don't have one out because none of them have been perfect. I'll be honest with you. There's my dog bothering me. So that's what I have to say about it. People love it. Okay. They love it. Now I don't make milkshakes and things like that. I think it would do a terrific job with that. I don't do those kind of things with it. I'm focused on one thing. I want to make the perfect, like low calorie, low carb ice cream. So not low calorie. I'm sorry. It is not low calorie. What I'm doing right now, these tests are not low calorie because it's heavy cream and all this stuff, but low carb because my husband he's doing complete, I wouldn't say keto, but pretty close. Me, it's kind of hit or miss because I test so many recipes and they can't all be keto. So I do my best. Hi, Rob. Thanks so much. I appreciate that. All right. Kathy says she's happy to see me use the new Speedi. Will I be doing more with it? Yeah, I think so. I think those quick meals are going to be helpful for people. And I also think that they're going to work in the OL series too. So that's what I want to do. I want to get them side by side, get a recipe together that's really simple, just a few ingredients, probably like that Parmesan chicken, and then maybe the garlic risotto. And because I've already tested it, it's delicious, tasted incredible. So yeah, I think I'm going to do those side by side, and so I think you will be seeing it more. Hi, Stacy. Hi, Doris. And somebody sent me, I don't know how this works. Hi, Wild Bill. Thank you so much. I don't know how I can put this. I'm going to find it. He sent me $5 and I need to figure out how to put that up on the screen. I guess I got to find it. And I guess I got to find, I don't know. I don't know how technology works too well. I'm not very good at that. Mary Sue, it is the Pampered Chef Walk. I'm glad you love it because I'm going to try it out soon. Oh, this is a great question. Approximately how long do you spend on perfecting each new recipe? That depends on the complexity and how well it works out the first time. So usually, like, I'm inspired by sometimes what I see you guys doing on Facebook. Sometimes I'll do keyword research to see what people are looking for on Google. Sometimes it's just what I want to eat, what Jeff and I want to eat. And so I'll go in, like, that's how this pizza came about. Like I wasn't planning on doing an almond flour pizza crust, but I went in and I was like, like I've got to be able to make a really crispy pizza crust and it be low carb keto for you and delicious for me and blah, blah, blah. And I'll be damn, I did it. Like the first try. I was like, Jeff, this has got to be a recipe. It's so good. So I made it again, like 3 or 4 more times. So that one went really quick. Like that one went from first test to filming within a week or two. Probably 2 weeks, a week and a half. But there are some other ones that are in testing for months, 6 months, 8 months. Sometimes they never even make it to a recipe. So it really depends, but it is a long time. It is, I would say at least, if everything went perfectly, it would probably be at least 4 hours, just to make the recipe 3 times. And then film it would be more time. It's a lot. It's a lot of work. Let me back up. It's not a lot of work. I love doing it. So it doesn't seem like work to me. But getting the groceries and, planning it all out and, that can be a lot of work. But it is. It's very time consuming. But I wouldn't have it any other way because last thing I want is for somebody to make a recipe and it not work out. That would be devastating to me. And sometimes they don't work out, right? Sometimes it works out for me and because of altitude or because of something else, it doesn't work out for somebody else. But I do everything in my power to try to prevent that from happening because I want everybody to be successful. Okay. Hey, Brittany says she didn't get notified of my live today, like I usually do. I put it up on my business page, but I didn't post it in the groups today because I just forgot. There's so many little things I have to try to remember to do. I haven't even updated my website with them. Like I'm supposed to have this events page on my website where anybody can go at any time and find out where, when, why, I'm going to be live or whatever. And I just don't have time to update these things all the time. Okay. Donnie says, how can I get your cookbooks in Amazon? How are they titled? You can't because they're not on Amazon. I only have one. It's a flavors of fall cookbook. So we're coming up to be the time when it would be appropriate. And it's an ebook and you can get that on my website, but I haven't done anything with Amazon yet. Like technology wise, it's a little intimidating. Although I feel like I did a pretty darn good job with the ebook that I put together myself. Although I did have a little bit of help. I had to hire somebody to help me with a few little things. But I'm trying to get better at that too. I'm trying to get better at so many things. I have so many things to do every day. It's unbelievable. But I want to get these out. I'm really thinking about a Ninja Speedi cookbook. And I'll tell you why. Because I think I can really move through those recipes and get a bunch of different combinations that will work in the Speedi or the OL series. I'm hoping anyway. So I'm thinking about doing that because I think I could do that pretty quickly. Usually it takes 1 to 2 years to put out a cookbook. Now these people on Amazon that do there's an Amazon cookbook out there that is all my recipes that were stolen from me, They do that. They go on the web, they get the recipes, they throw together a cookbook and they make money off of you. And that's so slimy. I can't stand it. Hey Robin, how are you? All right, Bonnie is new to the Ninja Foodie as of 2 days ago. Yay! And a friend told me of your YouTube channel, so I'll be a follower now. Thank you, Bonnie. And I hope you love your foodie. I just absolutely love it. Oh, this is awesome. Hi, Louise. I like the Ninja Foodie and you so much. Oh, thank you. I bought my sister one so we could cook together, but be 70 miles apart. That is awesome. So are you going to do it like over like Zoom or something like that? Wow, that thunder just like shook the floor. Hey, Jill, how are you? All right. Julie has a question here. How long does it take to pressure cook beef or lamb? All right. So these are like great questions and there's no answer for you. That's the sad part. Because what cut of beef is it? There's like a gazillion different kinds. Is it a filet mignon? Is it a chuck roast? How big is it? What is it? Well, it's not going to make that much difference if it's room temperature or not when you're going to pressure cook. But those are the things to take into account. How do you like it cooked? Like for me, if I was going to pressure cook beef, it's going to probably be a tougher cut that I want well done. I want it really nice and tender because it's a less expensive, tougher cut of meat. But I probably wouldn't pressure cook a filet, although I have pressure cooked a prime rib and it turned out amazing and it was great. It was perfectly fine. I was shocked at that one. And I want that on the rare side. So you can do it, but usually I don't recommend pressure cooking, especially if it's small cuts of tender beef. But the timing, you just can't. I mean, it just really depends. Same with lamb. I mean, is it a lamb chop or is it a leg of lamb? Those kind of things make a big difference. So I would need a lot more information on exactly what you're trying to cook and what results you want, because whether you want it sliceable or shreddable will also affect your pressure cooking time. But it's a great question. It's one that I get, in different forms all the time because everybody wants to know. I just tell me the time. Just give me the time. Let me know how to do this so I can just go and do it. And I wish it was that easy, but it's not because there's just so many variables. Because another variable is what are you putting with it? Do you need to modify the beef so that it cooks at the same time as your rice? Because you can, if you're okay with like thin strips of beef and things like that. So there's just so much to it that it's hard to answer those questions. But I love when they're asked because I get a chance to explain that it depends. The words that nobody wants to hear, right? All right, Colleen. Do I have more Ninja Blender recipes coming? I really like mine, but haven't done a lot of experimenting with it. That's a fun question because I just I just got a private message. Now I am saying this in with all kindness. I want everybody to know I did not take the message wrong. I am not upset at this person in the least. But basically, she sent me a message. He or she sent me a message saying that I she has to turn my channel off. She can't watch it because I have a warming blender and I use for my homemade recipes, I use grocery store ingredients. Okay. Oh, I'm so sorry, but I don't mill my own wheat and I don't I mean, I don't slaughter my cows and I don't have a fish pond, so I have to go to the grocery store. Like, I don't know what she expects from me. I'm not living off the land. Although I'd love to, I don't. So she was referring to the warming blender she was talking about was the blender I think that you're talking about. And I love using it, but I have stopped pretty much doing recipes with it because not a lot of people have it. So it's I mean, I know that's like unfair for the people that do, but I love it. I have a ton of recipes though on my website already. This fall I might do some more soups in it because I don't have a whole bunch of soups. I have a few, a handful. But yeah, anyway. So, but I love the cold and hot blender. I really do. It is kind of a pain to clean though. That's why when I'm doing like a quick drink or something like that, I use my other blender. And I'm assuming you're talking about the Ninja Foodi cold and hot blender because that would be the only one I think you would want recipes for. Um, yeah, Susan, that's a good tip. So Susan says, just a quick tip if any newbies are watching, I use a foam paintbrush to clean the lip around the top of the foodie. Yep. I have a different kind of brush, but I know what you're talking about with those foam ones, and that works brilliant. So thanks for sharing that. Um, let's see. Let's see here. I'm going down here. Um, I'm just kind of I'm going through comments really quickly here. Sharon says, "Is it strange that I named my Ninja Foodie? I call him Bebop." No, a lot of people have named their foodie. I haven't. I don't have a name for mine. Some people say I used to call it Thelma, but I don't want to run off a cliff, you know? If that even happened in the movie. I don't even remember that movie too much, but um okay, this is another question. What is my favorite non-pressure cooker air fryer item? Okay. So non-pressure cooker and non-air fryer. What is my favorite like cooking item? Gosh, my all-clad pot and some pans, I would say. I don't know if I'm reading that question. I don't know if you want to know what like my favorite air fryer is or I'm not really sure. So if you want to clarify that, I'm happy to answer it. But um non-pressure cooker, non-air fryer, my oven. I got the coolest oven, but it's an air fryer oven, but it's really cool. I love it. My induction burner. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, my induction burner. Oh, I am 100% a gas girl. Like I've cooked on electric, most of my life. That's sorry. I told you that might happen. All right, guys, it's all right. It's okay. It's okay. It's just a storm. It's just a storm. It's all right. Come on and lay down. Come on. It's just a storm. Um, so when I was reading up about induction, and of course with gas, like in when we had the studio kitchen put in, I was going to be a vent and all this kind of stuff, and I'm like, oh my gosh, and it's so hot, to cook on gas, even though I absolutely love it. But now that I have this induction stovetop, oh, that is a whole new game. I love it. Absolutely love it. All right. Abby says, I'd love to see that Thanksgiving meal made, showing the time plan, what goes in the pot when. Oh, that's a good idea. I'll have to think that through. Because timing is so important, isn't it? And planning is so important if you want to have the timing correct. And Jeff always says, like, he can cook all the components of a meal, but how do you get them all ready at the same time so that you're putting everything on the table hot, at once, or how it's supposed to be served? Because you don't want everything to be hot when you're planning a big meal like that, or you will never get it all done unless you have, a fancy commercial kitchen or something. But yeah, that is a good idea. I'll have to think about that. That'd be kind of fun. So we'll have to talk a little bit more about that. And I'll talk with Jeff and then look at his schedule and see, and maybe try to put it out like in the early November timeframe so that people have time to look at it, watch it, get some ideas and stuff like that. And maybe I could do it. I'm thinking out loud now. Maybe we could do it and take it over to his coworkers. They're first responders. So that would be kind of nice, especially if I was going to make a lot of everything because we don't need all that food. Hi, Sue. I'm sorry about your bronchitis. Sorry about that. Glad to see you, though. Hope you feel better soon. Hey, Dorothy. How are you? Good to see you. Thank you, Patricia. Patricia says, I love the way that you are so honest. I don't know how to be any other way. Like, I really don't. It just, that's just me. I will always tell the truth, even if it's not what people want to hear, which sometimes it isn't what people want to hear. And I get yelled at, but it's okay. All right, let's see. Oh, I got to tell you about this, right? I really like your 4-4 method for hard-boiled eggs. I've never had a failure since I started using it. Yeah, I like it too. I think it works great. Oh, great price on that. So I think it's DM1 says, I would say now's the time to get an entry level OL series. I picked up the 501, which is the 6.5 quart, which is fine. Doesn't have all the bells and whistles. But if you got it for $100, then that is going to be a way better deal than the Speedi right now. All right. I think I'm way behind in these because we're still really talking about holiday meals. So, hey, Linda, how are you? Hi, Charles, how are you? Let's see. Okay. I'm just reading these comments because I don't need to read them all. If I can possibly move down. Thank you, Donna. Donna says the reason that she bought the foodie and swear by my recipes. Thank you, sweetie. Okay, now we're into pizza comments here. I'm sorry. Hey, Katrina, love you too. Dippin' Dots. That's what I was talking about with the freeze dried ice cream. Okay. Oh, okay. So about the Ninja Creamy, Sue said that Aluse helps keep the dust away. Okay, keeps the dust away. Oh my gosh, we have some funny things that we talk about, don't we? And Kathy says she doesn't have any problems with hers. Always smooth. Well, Kathy, I'm going to have to get some recipes from you and see what you're doing because maybe my freezer's too cold. I don't know. I mean, I think it's set at 0, but anyway. Okay, Juliet does respins. And then Kathy says, don't know what's your problem. I've never had one issue with mine. We're talking about the Ninja Creamy. Yeah, that's what I'm seeing. That's what I'm like, what? Like, I could literally create Thanksgiving dinner with no recipes whatsoever. Everything would be fantastic. And I can't figure out how to make a recipe in the Ninja Creamy. Yeah, I know. I don't know what my problem is either. But it's frustrating. I don't know. And I make ice cream all the time. I don't know. Um, and Sue says she only waits 8 hours. Sometimes I do that too. And I've actually found that if I only wait 8 hours, if it's frozen solid in 8 hours, that I have better luck with the Ninja Creamy. All right. Marilyn is asking about cooking low carb or cook keto recipes. And I have a bunch and I intermix them in with other recipes. So I do have them. As I find something that I'm making for Jeff that he loves, I want to get a recipe out, for people that want to do that. All right. I finally found Wild Bill. Thank you so much, Wild Bill. And Wild Bill says, thanks for the pulled pork ninja foodie vid. I've done 6-ish pounds pork butts using your method, and they were all banging. Family thought I was a pro. That is awesome. And thank you for the money. I appreciate that. And that's one of the things, like if I'm going to put out a barbecue recipe, it better be good since I owned a barbecue restaurant. So if you're looking for a rib recipe, if you're looking for barbecue sauces, if you're looking for pulled pork, I don't have a traditional brisket. I'm going to do that one. I have a corned beef and I have a brisket that's got cranberries and mushrooms, which is perfect for the holidays. But I'm going to do an actual like pulled brisket or sliced brisket recipe here soon. I need to do that. But you can really trust that they would not go out if they weren't as good as I could get them without using a smoker. All right. Let's see. Hi, Patriot Lady. Thanks for watching. Try not to be intimidated by the Ninja. It really is just a cooking appliance, and it heats food in different ways. So understanding that, and it's really not intimidating at all. I think this is funny because we're just going to move right on to tell you what my cocktail is. Okay, so first of all, I love the name Caramel Apple. Love that. Your confidence is absolutely amazing. If it was me instead of you, I would totally be stuttering. Laugh out loud. Yeah. Okay, so it is nerve-wracking to go live. It is not so nerve-wracking to do the videos anymore that I do that are produced, they're edited and stuff like that, because, if I make a mistake, I just be like, all right, Jeff, cut that out, whatever. But live is totally different. And the first time that I went live, and I'm overweight, you know what I mean? Like, so it's not like I have all the confidence in the world about everything. I don't. So it does take a lot to get me to do this. So when I first started, it's easier now. And I'll tell you, it's you guys that make it easier for me, because you're just so darn nice that it's like social hour. I actually look forward to it. But when I did my first live, which was probably about 5 years ago, maybe even longer, I didn't know anything about it. I literally hit record, got on. I was on Facebook. Hi, I'm going to go live. I just wanted to say hi to everybody. And okay, bye. And that was it. It was like 30 seconds. That was it. But then I just built up. All right. Now, the other thing, I don't really need it anymore, but I used to have one glass of wine before I would go live. One glass of wine. Now I don't, but I used to. So cheers. And let me tell you about what's in this cocktail, because I made it up on the fly and it is amazing. And it is Bird Dog Black Cherry flavored whiskey, a little bit of sour cherries. I got to try to, everything's backwards. Sour cherries, with like maybe 3 of those cherries, and a little bit of the juice, maybe like quarter cup. 3 dashes of orange bitters, and then finish it off with some Sprite Zero. And it is so good. So delicious. All right, let me keep going down. Donna, how often do you do sous vide recipes? I love the feature on the Ninja Foodie steaks. They come out perfect. Yes, I do too. I like the sous vide function, and it's kind of funny because like I was never a sous vide enthusiast. Like, I've had one for a long time, but I'm like, gosh, I got to plan ahead. Excuse me. I have to plan ahead, and I'm not a plan aheader. And I could never like wrap my head around why in the world would I wait like an hour for a steak when I can make it in 15 minutes or less? I mean, why would I do that? But it wasn't until I really started like playing around with it and just understanding the concept more that I absolutely love it. Like, I will pasteurize my eggs if I wanna put raw eggs in ice cream, and I don't wanna have to temper them or anything. I'll pasteurize eggs. I just did sous vide burgers the other day, so I'm testing a recipe for sous vide burgers. Now, I can't promise it's gonna come out because it won't be a video unless I think it's worth it. But I was thinking in my head that you could sous vide a bunch of burgers. Like, if you're having a cookout or a party, you want to have, serve hamburgers, you could sous vide a whole bunch of them and just sear them on the grill, and they'll be perfectly cooked through and through and juicy. So I thought, that might be good to put out like around Labor Day. So I'm testing that recipe now. So we'll see if Labor Day comes and goes. It didn't work or it wasn't good enough or whatever. But I did it yesterday, I think, and it turned out really well. I'm also thinking you could do them from frozen, and just throw them in. So it worked out really well. And then I just seared it in a pan on the stove, and they were good. I mean, they were really good. Not quite as good as the air fryer burgers that I just filmed today, and those are amazing. Like, they're so amazing. But yeah, they're good. They're good. They're not nearly as creepy coming out of the bag as I thought they would be either. So that's the one thing. Sous vide can be a turnoff for people, especially like, we eat with our eyes first. And if you see what comes out of the sous vide bag before you sear it, you're going to be like, oh, I don't think I want to eat that. But if you can get over that, it's simply amazing. All right, John, let's see. For people starting their Ninja journey, whether multi-cookers, blenders, ovens, etc., what Ninja products would you recommend based on your experiences? That is a good question. So, I would say the multi-cooker, like, it's so much. I get this question a lot, and it's so much of a personal question for everybody to answer for themselves, because I love to pressure cook, and I love the all the different functions on the Ninja Foodi pressure cooker and air crisper. But if you love to grill and you're not so much of a moist cooking environment kind of person, like, you don't want to make your rice and your pastas and things like that. You want to do more grill, dry heat type of stuff, then the XL grill would be my go-to. Unless you if you have kids, the Ninja Foodi XL oven is really nice. My sister has one and her kids wear it out. Oh, did you hear that? Oh my gosh, I got scared. Oh, my heart's racing. That scared me. Wow. This storm is like right on top of me. I felt that. I'm sorry. That scared me. Wow. Um, I was live one time and the coyotes were so loud where I lived before. Well, I still live there, but I don't do lives there anymore because we don't have internet. But the coyotes were so loud, they were creeping me out. I was live doing a Q&A, and like, you could just hear them howling and howling. I had to stop the Q&A. The dogs were going crazy. I had to go check it out. I was freaked out. I had no idea what was happening. Like, it sounded like they were like on the roof. But now this is a thunderstorm, which I usually am not worried about. But that one, just, I felt it like all through the floor and came through my body. Wow, that was really weird. Okay. So, blenders, like, there's so many to choose from. That's really a hard one, but I think there's just too many, John, for me to answer that question. Um, if I was to get one blender, it wouldn't be the Ninja Foodi cold and hot blender. I will say that just because of the heavy pitcher and that it's such a pain to clean. I mean, I can clean it. I've got a brush that goes under the blade, so I do get it nice and clean, but It's not easy. It's not easy. So I would probably go with one of their blenders that has like a smaller cup, a regular pitcher that can, go in the dishwasher or at least be washed in the sink. And I like the one that has little, it's not the twisty, because they also have a Ninja blender that's called the twisty. And it's not that, but it's like it does dough and stuff. Like I can't even remember the name of it, but it does dough and everything else, cookie batter, things like that. And it has like this little cup that has like a little twisty thing on it. That I love. I use that all the time for all kinds of things. All right, John, I'm sorry. That's a hard one to answer because there are so many. But I don't think you can go wrong with a Ninja Foodi pressure cooker and air crisper. I will tell you that. So if I was to get one, that would be the one. Brianna wants to know if the Ninja Speedi is new. Yes, it is new. It just came out a few weeks ago, I think. Hi, Tony. Thank you so much. Oh, so Rob says maybe a second video channel about recipes that don't work out. I think it would be interesting to see what you're up to, even if it doesn't make it to a video. It might help people with trial and error. Rob, that is something that I'm working on. So, and it would be on Facebook, it would be on TikTok, it would be on, different like short form videos of me testing recipes and like kind of I haven't figured it all out in my head, but I'm working on that because I do agree. I think, that if I can, I mean, I'm doing it anyway. I might as well film it. I mean, my hair is going to be a mess. I'm not going to have probably not even have makeup on, but I don't care. I'll just film it. So I'm going to start doing that, but it's figuring out camera angles and how fast I can be, and what's interesting and what isn't interesting. So anyway, yeah, but great idea. All right, Donnie. Okay, then what is the website? Just very new here. Found you yesterday, enjoying the videos. My website is thesaltedpepper.com. And you can find all my recipes on there so you can print them out. So if you watch on YouTube, a lot of people don't know this, but if you watch on YouTube, in the video description, there's a link to the recipe. You can jump over to the website at the very top. You can jump to recipe, jump to video, print recipe. Okay. So if you don't want to hear, because most of the time, a lot of the information that I put into the videos is in the written text as well. But sometimes I add new stuff in the written text. So more tips, more things, or changes that I might have made after the fact, after the video goes out because of feedback, from people. So, I mean, it's a big, long recipe post, everybody complains about them, but they're done that way for a reason. But you can just jump right to the recipe and you can print it out. And you can find the cookbook on there too, if that's what you're looking for. Oh, that makes me so happy. My cousin bought a Ninja Foodi over a year and a half ago and was intimidated and never used it. We had a day with salted pepper videos and now she loves it and you. Oh, that is so awesome. Thanks for sharing that with me. Anne wants to know if Ninja pays me. Nope, not a dime. And that is by design because I don't think they'd like me talking about the Creami making astronaut dust. And I don't think that they'd like half the things that I say and do. And I don't really care. And that's why I'm not affiliated with them. I don't earn any income from them whatsoever. And I started that very early on. Because I don't know how to be anything but honest. And if I didn't like something, I'm going to say it. And I also don't like to be told what to do or say. So it's not a match. It's not going to work out. But I do get paid. So it is a full-time job and I do get paid and I get paid from you guys. So I get paid when you watch videos of mine. I get paid when you visit my website. So my main revenue stream is ad income through YouTube ads and through my website ads. That's the main revenue stream. But I also earn affiliate income from products that I like and give links to that are from Amazon, very teeny, couple pennies, little percent, little tiny thing. And Pampered Chef and Grill Great, I have an affiliate with, but I wouldn't have it if I didn't like the product. I'll tell you that right off the bat. Like, I don't care if somebody was going to pay me $100. Like, I'll give you an example. I'm not going to name any names or anything like that, but there was a knife company that reached out to me and they wanted me to promote their knives on my YouTube channels. This is very common. I mean, they do it all the time. And I said, well, send me the knives. The price point was pretty good. So I said, send me the knives. I'll test them out. And if I like them, sure, I'll bring them to my audience. It's no problem. They sucked. They sucked. They were dull in like 2.2 seconds. I'm like, they went right in the drawer. And I just said, I'm sorry. I didn't tell them their knives sucked, but I told them I couldn't do it. Like, I'm not doing that. I don't even care if it was a $10, $15 knife. You're not going to spend money on something that doesn't work. And that's my thing. I mean, do you know how many dull knives I've bought over the years that were cheap, and didn't work? Like, no, I'm not promoting that. No. So I'm real picky. So no, nothing with Ninja. No. All right. All right. This is interesting. I want to put this up here. It's totally not cooking related, but hi, Louise and Jeff. Just an observation. I believe those two black circles behind you are vintage floor grates from older, large diameter heat ducts. My wife and I have similar, and we use it for a trivet for large platters. Well, that's pretty cool. I don't know that those are exactly, because I think I got them at Hobby Lobby. So I don't think that they are. They're kind of a gray color, but I love them anyway. And I love the idea of using them as a trivet. Like, that never even occurred to me. I love that. I love that idea. Okay. Let's go back. Robin, and just in case you didn't get it, what's my website? It is thesaltedpepper.com. If you type in the salted pepper on Google, you will find me. All right. Hi, Nighthawk. I have not seen you in a long time pop up in any comments or anything. So it's good to see you. Okay. You're awesome. I've had my Ninja Foodie 8-quart multi-cooker for about a year and a half now, and it's starting to give me the pot notice. Yeah. I have to move the pot around more often. Yeah. It's kind of annoying. Yeah, it is. I've had one that did that. My very first one that I guess I got in like 2000. What is 18 maybe? It does that. Yeah. And that is a pain, but I will tell you, I have not done this, but there is a video on YouTube how to bypass that pot sensor, and it still works. I mean, it's not going to tell you that the pot's in, but it will still work. Like, your Ninja Foodie will still work. You might want to try that out, especially if, you have nothing to lose, right? Because it does get to be a pain. Now, the other thing I will say is if you've dropped your pot or anything like that, that can cause it as well. So, like, if you have a little dent, it's kind of not sitting flat on the sensor. So what I do to troubleshoot that is take like a utensil or something and push down that little middle sensor and turn your Ninja Foodie on. And if it never gives you the pot notice while you're pushing down on it, then it might be your pot, and you might, get a new pot instead of a new Foodie, because they're a lot cheaper. Let's see. All right. Kathleen, I'm doing a series of watching you, and I tell you to turn it on. I know you can't hear me. No, I can't hear you. That would be awesome, though. Well, that's the great thing about the lives. I can't hear you, but I can at least read comments. I would love to be able to hear people. Well, maybe not everybody. I probably don't want to hear everybody that's commenting on my videos, because I see enough of their crap in the written comments. I certainly don't want to hear them yelling at me from their computer or something. All right, Juliette, I think I already said what tonight's cocktail was, because I think I'm still back like 30 minutes reading these comments. I'm sorry. I'm slow. I talk too much. But if you need a recap, I'm happy to help you. All right, Brittany, this is probably something I'm not going to know how to answer, but question about cooking oils. I see almost always reference avocado oil. Tell us more about why you love it. It is a little more costly, so I'd love to know if it's worth it. Okay. I do use avocado oil a lot. Recently, though, only in the past year. And that is because it is so neutral. So And people don't like canola oil or vegetable oil. And so avocado oil is safe for me to use on video. A lot of it comes down to that. I'll be honest with you. So if I'm making something where olive oil is like a natural go-to, then I would use olive oil. Like if I'm going to saute garlic because I'm going to make a pasta dish, I'm going to use olive oil most likely. But if I'm spritzing something that's a breaded fish, I don't necessarily want to spritz it with olive oil. I would use a canola oil, vegetable oil in my not so past, okay? But a lot of people don't like that, and so avocado oil comes to the rescue, and it's very neutral, and you can use it for everything. It also does, I think, really well with the air fryers. I think, I don't know this for a fact, but I think I get less residue on the air fryer basket using avocado oil than I do olive oil. But that could just be, me wishing that was the case. So that's that answer in all of its truth. All right, Raven, could I do a video where you cook a comparison on how different it would be to cook a beef roast and a pork roast? I could, but I don't know if I see the point in that so much. I mean, maybe, I guess, from a teaching standpoint, where you would cook the beef a little bit different than the pork, but I would probably tend to lean just to do a beef roast recipe and a pork roast recipe separate. And then with pork roast, like there's different kinds of pork roast. Here we go again, right? So there's a pork shoulder, there's a pork loin roast, there's a pork tenderloin. I mean, there's a lot of different, there's a picnic, like a picnic kind of roast. There's a lot of different kinds of pork roast and beef roast for that matter. But I see what you're saying, and I always think about these things like how can I provide the most value like to people? Like how can I answer their questions that they have that will inspire them to try different things and cook more and things like that? And it's hard to always come up with new things, but I see where you're going with that. I'll have to give that some thought. Hi Esther, how are you? Good to see you. Amanda, just wanted to thank you for the Instant Pot thigh recipe in my foodie right now cooking. This is our third time making it. You are probably talking about, well, there's a couple I have on my recipe on my website, but one is something I think I have like three. I have chicken tinga, but that's slow cooker. That's so good. The chicken adobo is probably one of my most favorite Ninja Foodie recipes. Like I love that. But whatever you're cooking, I'm glad you're liking it. All right. Elise wants to know the Ninja Foodie XL grill, the veggie tray. Does that fit that one or the smaller model? I don't have it, but I think the veggie tray I think it fits the XL, the rectangular grill. But I don't have that accessory, so I'm not really sure. All right. Let me get down here a little bit. Hey, Mare, how are you? Can I make something for two sometime? Yeah, I can. It's one of those things. If I make it for two people, everyone's going to ask, how do you triple it? If I make it triple, how do you cut it in half? I try to add those things into my written recipes so that you can just make a smaller portion. Cooking for two is hard though. I mean, unless it's like a chicken breast. But when you're making, like a pasta dish, it can be kind of tricky. Although, like, I'm famous for just like if Jeff's at work and I want something really quick, like I'll throw in some pasta, some broth, some garlic, some this, that, and the other, pressure cook for a few minutes, throw in some leftover chicken, whatever, and grate some Parmesan cheese and dinner's done for me. Like, so it doesn't have to be that complicated, but yeah, I'll have to think about that. All right. I'm not saying hi to people. I do see you and I want to say hi to everybody, but there's just not enough time. I want to get through these comments, and some people have sent some money, and I want to thank them too. That's so sweet. Not expected, appreciated, but certainly not expected. Okay. All right. I'll go over the drink one more time. So this is coming from a question on YouTube. If you're on Facebook, you're not going to, well, you might see it on my screen. I guess you do. guess you do. Technology. I don't know it that well. All right. So what this is it's a bourbon cocktail or whiskey, whatever you want to call it. It is Bird Dog black cherry flavored whiskey, a shot or two of that. These Morello cherries, which are sour cherries. They're not sour though. They're just not really sweet. They're not maraschino. A little bit of the juice and about 3 or 4 of the cherries. A couple of splashes of orange bitters, which really rounds out the drink really well. So don't skip that. And then just some Sprite Zero, or Club Soda would be fine. But the Sprite Zero, I think, adds a little sweetness and just adds that little limey lemon flavor. All right, let's see. Okay. Patricia says, I just ordered the new Pampered Chef utensils. Do you love them? If you are talking about the gray ones, the like two-tone, I love them. I think they're like fantastic. I love them. If that's what you're talking about. Most of the utensils I like from Pampered Chef. All right. Okay, this is a good question. Karen says, I have done the 4-4 egg method twice now, but the eggs are still a little more done than I would like. Should I shorten the cook time or the release time or both? That's a really good question. I would start with taking the pressure cook time down 1 minute. That's what I would start with. And then see how that does for you. If that doesn't work, but it's closer to what you want, then take the release time down a little bit. Okay. So you can play around with that. Think about when you're thinking about the pressure cook time versus release time, think of it this way. High temperature heat is your pressure cook time. Your natural release time is like you're on medium moving to low heat. Okay. So it's your ramp down. The time to pressure is ramping up the heat. Your pressure cook time is your high intensity heat, hotter than you can boil on the stove. And then your natural release is your ramp down as the pot starts to cool down. So I would first start with the pressure cook time and then just do little changes until you get it perfect, because that's what it's all about. It's all about just getting them cooked exactly the way you like them. Now, if you want to run your center, I think I pressure cooked on low. That's another option too. I mean, you could go on low. That might be the trick. We don't pressure cook on low a whole lot, but you can do it. I'm not even like that one still kind of boggles my mind, but it does work. I mean, I have seen the difference when I go high or low, but I haven't like worked that through in my brain yet, because once pressure is what increases the temperature of how hot it'll be before water boils. Anyway, I'm not going to go down that road because that will just confuse me and everybody else. But I have that written out on my website. It's one of those things you need to write out. You need to practice talking about it. You don't just talk off the cuff unless you're that person who knows all that stuff. I'm not that person. All right. Let's keep going down. Got the Ninja Hot and Cold Blender and the double air fryer. Love your videos. Thank you so much. I'm so happy that you like that. All right, Larry, this is a great question and one that I am going to be coming out with a very comprehensive video and tutorial on. There are many different ways I read about cooking rice in the pressure cooker. What is your best advice for getting some really good rice? I use jasmine rice. Pot and pot for jasmine rice, in my opinion. Okay. Same for basmati rice. Other types of rice I can do, like if it's parboiled, I can do it in the inner pot directly. But once you do the pot and pot, so you've got your water in the bottom, like your 1 cup of water, because you don't need any more than that. Then you've got your rice. And I usually do, I think 1-to-1 ratio for jasmine rice most of the time. And you have that in your pan and you have it covered. Sometimes I don't even cover it because it's just water. Steam is water. It's not going to, affect anything, but sometimes I do cover it. And then I pressure cook for 2 minutes and I natural release for 10. And I have perfect rice all the time. Love it. So the pressure cook time, the high heat time is getting everything really steamy, getting that water heated, and then the natural release time is letting the rice absorb it. Okay. But we're not at such a high heat that we're turning it into mush. I have a lot of issues. Well, I say I have a lot of issues. I don't really have a lot of issues cooking in rice in the inner pot, but it is more challenging because you're right in the water. It's an even more intense heat, and you can really turn your rice into mush. And especially if you want to do large volumes, that gets really tricky. So I also recommend 1 cup, 2 at the most of rice when you're doing pot and pot or inner pot. You're trying to make 4 cups of rice, it can get a little bit tricky. And then I would switch from pressure cook to steam instead, and you'll have better results in my opinion. All right, great question. Do you have any Mediterranean dishes? Well, I mean, if you mean traditional, no, but I did do a Mediterranean salad, but it was just inspired. Um, but I love Mediterranean food, so I'm gonna have to do some. Yes. All right. Have I made a brisket in the OL 701? Let me think about that. The reason why I'm saying that is because I had a brisket in my freezer not that long ago that I had to make. I had to use up, and I made it. Not a recipe or anything. I just made it. And did I use the 701? I'm not sure, but it doesn't matter because it would be the same because you would pressure cook the brisket. I mean, you could, I guess, technically do another function, but you're going to want to go on a really low heat for a really long period of time to break down all the connective tissue. So I would pressure cook it definitely. And then if it has a nice fat cap on top, I always air crisp it. Like the brisket is the same cut as corned beef. Obviously, it's just not corned, it's not preserved, doesn't have all that seasoning stuff. But the way that I do my corned beef would work amazingly for brisket, as long as they're the same size or just they're about the same size. All right. If you do more recipes in the cold and hot blender, I'd love to see homemade ketchup. Yes, that's one. I have not gotten that right, Stacy. I've tried. I've tried to do homemade ketchup. I didn't get it. It doesn't taste right. But that is something that I have tried. And mayonnaise. I can't make homemade mayonnaise to save my life, and it's really easy to do apparently, but I can't make it. It tastes like garbage. I don't know. Maybe I'm just so used to the processed, jar kind. I don't know, but it usually tastes like garbage when I make it, so I don't make it. Linda says, I've had my 6.5 quart for a couple of months now, and I love it. Easy to use. Louise, you gave me the confidence. My husband has even followed your recipes easily. Yay! That is awesome. I'm so happy to hear that. All right. Robin wants to know, what time during the cooking process would you put on barbecue sauce? That depends. Just had to do it. That depends. It does depend though, because if I was pressure cooking pulled pork and I wanted it to be fall apart, I might put some barbecue sauce in with the liquid. You know what I mean? Just to start those flavors infusing into the meat. But traditionally, I would put it on at the end, especially if you're doing something that's grilled or air fried or something like that. I would do it at the end. The barbecue sauces tend to have a lot of sugar in them, and they burn really easily. So you want to put it on towards the end most of the time. But it depends. Pressure cooking you're not going to burn it up because you've got other liquid there. It just sort of infuses the flavor. But other cooking methods at the end. Okay. Rob says a lot of people are still intimidated by pressure cooker because they still think of the old school stovetop pressure cookers. It's important to note how different and safe the Ninja products are. Yeah, they're totally different, Rob. You're right. They're totally different. But that being said, if you've ever been in a kitchen when an old time pressure cooker blew up, I can see why people are a little intimidated by it. That's for sure. All right. I'm going to run through these a little bit because now I've been on for an hour and 17 minutes and I haven't even gotten down here where I need to get down. So let's see. Okay. All right. Tony, thank you so much for the super sticker. I don't really know how they work, but I appreciate it. And so thank you so much. But they're not necessary, but I do appreciate it. Put it towards the Tasty Tuesday ingredients or ingredients that I test recipes with. Um, all right, Colleen. Colleen just sent me a little message. I'm not going to put it on the screen, but she had wanted the Grill Grate for her anniversary, and her husband got it for her. So happy anniversary, Colleen! And I hope you love it. All right, that's a good question, Erin. I love making your jalapeno jelly, and I wonder if it could be frozen. Yeah, yeah, I don't see any reason why it can't be frozen. It's also a very, very, very close to a ball jalapeno recipe that's safe for canning. So you can water bath can it as well if you prefer to do that. Ramon, thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Wow. You do not have to do that though. But thank you. Thank you. Cheryl says, I can't believe anyone would yell at you. You're so sweet. Oh, yeah. They yell at me. They yell at me for everything. It's crazy, but I don't care anymore. It used to bother me. It used to bother me. It doesn't anymore. Hi, Terry. I think that's how you say it. I think we've gone through this before, and my memory is not very great. Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it so much. Really. You guys are wonderful. Rob says, what about recipes for lowering cholesterol? That would be lower fat items. Yeah, I need to do some vegetable recipes. I feel like even though I cook like that, I feel like they're boring. Like I feel like nobody wants to watch. I am doing a steam and crisp broccoli recipe because I was blown away at how good it was. So I'm doing that. I have an asparagus recipe, and this is funny. So I have an asparagus recipe where I did it two different ways because we're talking about how do you want it cooked? Because there's different ways to cook asparagus based on how you like it and how you want to serve it. So I have had this asparagus video and it's been done. It's edited. I don't put it out. I don't know why. I feel like nobody's going to like it because it's asparagus. Who cares? It's like weird. I don't know. I don't know, but I have it. I just need to get it out. I need to write the post, and then I go and like, okay, how am I going to write 2,500 words about asparagus? Well, I'm going to do my best. Anyway, hey, Sally, how are you? That's a good idea. Cook for 4 and freeze for another night. Most food will freeze just fine. Sally, I hope you guys are doing well. I took care of Sally's mom at one of my assisted livings. Like I had a bunch of them at my assisted living, and oh my gosh, I loved her to pieces, and I love Sally too. Kathleen, this is a good question. When you have xanthan gum, how long does it last before it goes bad? I don't think it will ever go bad as long as you keep it in a sealed container and don't let it get wet. Okay. Because if it gets any moisture in there, it's going to gum up. But other than that, I've had mine because you don't use that much. So I've had one like years and years and years, but it's completely dry. So it's not going to go bad. All right, Judy, this is a good question. I would like to get a good knife. Mine are all bad, so I would like to invest in a really good one. Do you have a recommendation? Thank you. When it comes down to picking a knife, I feel very strongly that you need to go and test them out. Now, I was given, I don't know if I ever would have bought it, to be honest with you, but I was given a Pampered chef's knife, and it fit my hand like a glove. And I love the texture of the handle. It's weighted correctly for me, and I love using it. So if you're not sure, I would go into, you don't have to go to a knife store, but you can go into, what is that? Williams Sonoma, and ask to try out different knives. Feel them in your hand. Like a lot of people love Henkel. I don't like them. They don't fit me right. I think it's Wusthof. I do like their knives. But yeah, it is personal preference. And if you think the chef's knife is too big and bulky for you at first, go with like a smaller Santoku style that have the little ridges that kind of let food fall off. That's what I started with many moons ago. Because I'll be honest, the chef's knife was like, it's this big. Like, what am I going to do with it? I'm going to cut my whole hand off. So I used a smaller one, and then as I got more comfortable with that, and then somebody gave me the Pampered Chef knife, and I was like, "Oh, it's big, but I like it." It cuts beautifully, and it's perfectly weighted for my hand. So yeah, so definitely go into a store, spend some time. And the Ninja Foodie knives are good. Okay, they're good. They work fine. Probably sharper than many knives that you can get. Um, but they might not be the best feel. Okay. I don't love the feel of them. I couldn't prep like tons and tons and tons of vegetables with the Ninja Foodie knives. And that's the way the handle just feels in my hand. Whereas the Pampered Chef has more of a wood feel. It's not as slick, slippery. So I just feel more in control of it. Um, oh no, somebody checked their Pampered Chef scoop, cookie scoop on vacation and forgot to bring it home. Oh no. All right. Raven says, I saw your cheeseburger hamburger helper video. Would you do other copycat recipes? Yeah, I do. I have a rice-a-roni one. I don't set out to like copycat recipes though, but I try to think what is delicious that's in a box that people love that I could make that would be just as good, just as easy, and make it homemade without all the preservatives in the box. So, they're not really, I mean, like, I don't know that I've ever had hamburger helper, to be honest with you. And not because I'm a snob or anything like that. It's not like that. But growing up, that was just not my mom's thing. We weren't going to have anything like that in the house. I mean, it was a treat to have a little Debbie Nutty Buddy bar, let me tell you. And I still love those to this day. All right. Kathy says, does your smoke detector ever go off when you use the air crisp function, even though there's no visible smoke? Mine does not. Okay. But I have heard people say that the steam can set off their smoke detector. So it's not smoke, it's probably steam. Oh, well, you're using air crisp though. There's no visible smoke. There's something else. I read this. What did they say? Kathy, I can't remember the details. I read it a few months ago, but it was the type of smoke detector that they had. And once they changed that out for a different type, it stopped happening. But yeah, I can imagine that would be really frustrating. All right. And maybe some other people have had that experience and they'll chime in too. All right. Have you ever noticed soft-boiled eggs take longer to cook than it did when the Ninja Foodie was new? I haven't made enough soft-boiled eggs, although I love them. So what you're saying is that you think things are taking longer to cook now than when your Ninja Foodie was new. Okay. I have a little bit of a theory on that. Okay. So hear me out. I think because I have noticed little things, okay, small things on my older model of Ninja Foodie, and especially when I use because I interchange the lids because I can't. I mean, I have to label them 1, 2, 3, and I don't, so they are interchangeable. If I grab one of the lids from an older model, because I've got so many of them, and use it, I feel like more steam, even if you can't see it, releases. So I'm thinking that's probably why it's taking longer for them to cook. Because if it's like loose, like the lid is looser, everything just seems a little bit looser because you've used it so much. So you might want to try just buying a new lid and seeing if that doesn't help. If it bothers you, if it doesn't bother you, don't worry about it. But yeah, I see what you're saying with that. It's a good question, Sharon, and I've heard this before. Have I found that tomato products toughen meat if cooked with them from the beginning? I have. So Sharon, there's a lot of discussions on this. Like, don't put vinegar in your beans; they'll toughen them. Don't put vinegar in, before you pressure cook; it'll toughen the meat. And there is some truth to it scientifically, where the meat fibers can react to certain ingredients and kind of tighten up. But I have never found that to be enough of a problem for me to worry about. But I can't really think of many things except for ground beef that I cook with tomato products. So maybe it's just because I don't do it, I haven't noticed it. But there is some, scientific theories behind that and everything. Not even theories, they're proven. So they're not no longer theories, they're proof, true facts, whatever. All right. But I mean, yeah, I don't know. Now, I'm going to have to get a roast and I'm going to have to dump in tomatoes and I'll do a side by side. I have to find out if this is the case. Although I will tell you that one beef roast, even if it's the same cut, so let's say we have 2 chuck roast, one could be more tender than the other. So it's really hard to determine whether or not it's the tomato products or is it just the cut of beef. So I guess if you see it as a pattern, then you can do deductive reasoning, right? All right. Oh God, Sue, are you going to do the spice section in the course in the near future? Yeah, I'll tell you. That's in the skills cabinet, isn't it? Isn't that? Oh, I'll tell you. So that course ran away with me. Okay. But I started back on it today. So I'm putting it all in. And if you don't know what we're talking about right now, let me just really quick give you a little background. So I have a new Ninja Foodie pressure cooker and air crisper course. Jeff and I worked on it for about 9 months. There's over 100 videos in there. It goes through every single thing you could possibly think of. And also with that, you can get a skills cabinet that talks about just some basics, some food basics, prepping food, deveining shrimp, just basic stuff, right? That I thought people might find handy. Well, when Ninja put out the OL series just a few months after we finished the course. So we went back into filming to film for the OL series. And then it's a long story, but my mom got sick. Jeff's mom died. My sister's going through some personal problems. There's just so many things have happened that I've been traveling so much. It's been hit or miss. But today I started looking at the course. So I'm doing a whole big outline and I am going to get to it. That is one of my priorities to get to before 2023. And I'm going to improve the course and I'm going to do a workbook with it and probably going to raise the price a little bit. So I'll do a little quick sale of the course in the next month or so people can get it at a reduced price before I either go up on the price or just definitely charge full price for it because there's a lot in there. Let me tell you. All right. Okay. Thank you, Sharon, so much. I appreciate the super sticker. I really do. Thank you so much. Okay. People are like, I like asparagus. I want to see it. Okay, cool. I will get it out. I definitely will get it out. All right. Omni Power wants to know, will I be doing Ninja Speedi specific videos? I think a few here or there. I mean, I don't want to be specific for an appliance. I mean, I know I probably already am for the Ninja Foodie stuff, but an air fryer is, okay, how do I put this? I don't want to say an air fryer is an air fryer is an air fryer because they're not. They all cook a little bit differently, but the recipes don't change. Okay. You just tweak the times and the temperatures. So the same with the Speedi. Like if I was going to do like I just did a Speedi video, but I wouldn't consider it a Speedi video. It's an air fryer video. I did my almond encrusted Parmesan chicken and I used the Ninja Speedi kind of last minute. I tested it in the Ninja Foodie air fryer and I had the Ninja Speedi up on my counter and I decided to go with that one and it worked out fine. I overcooked it a little bit because again, little nuances, little changes, but for the most part, the recipes are the same. So it's always a challenge for me to think about like, what appliance should I use this recipe? Because I could really do them in all of them, right? The recipe is the recipe. So it's just the little nuances. So anyway, I know I didn't answer your question, but yes, I will be doing some because there are some things that I think are very interesting about it, but I'm not going to get too far into it until I see how people are liking it. Are they valuable videos for people? Because that's the bottom line. I want the videos to be valuable for people. So if they're not valuable, then, I don't want to waste anybody's time, but I do like the Ninja Speedi. So, okay. All right, let's keep going down here so we can say goodbye pretty soon. Let's see. Oh, Janet. Janet says I bought a plastic shower cap to put on my smoke detector to keep it from going off while using my air fryer function on my Foodie. Awesome. That is such a great idea. I would have never thought of that. That is amazing. Um, all right. John, thank you. He says the course is fabulous and can highly recommend it. Thank you so much. Um, that's okay. Will you be able to upgrade if you're already a member of the course? You don't have to upgrade. Okay. So if you bought the course, you're going to get all the upgrades. So you don't need to upgrade. Okay. So in fact, it's one of the things I'm doing is I want to send out an email so that you can see. I've already added a bunch of videos in there that probably people who bought last year, because it went out last year, probably don't even know about, So yeah, you don't have to do anything. You will get it all. All right. Karen says, love that course. Thank you. I'm not trying to make it a little commercial, but I'm pretty proud of it myself. And Janice says the course was money well spent. That is so important. Thank you so much. Sharon's going to try the chicken with pecans instead of almonds. That should be perfectly fine. Should be any problems whatsoever. All right, Aaron, this is a good question. If you don't like Parmesan, is there anything I can substitute? Yeah, you can substitute. Now, I would be careful. If he doesn't like Parmesan, he probably doesn't like Asiago either, right? So we're probably not going to go down that road. But I would be careful not to use too much. Like, let's say cheddar. You could use cheddar if you wanted. You can use any cheese that you want to use. Mozzarella, that's very neutral flavored. But be careful that you don't use too much. So with the mozzarella, I would probably maybe do half as much as I did the Parmesan, so that it doesn't burn or get too ooey gooey all over, right? Parmesan is a special kind of cheese, in my opinion, especially for coating things because of the way that it melts and it just does a really great job. But you can use other cheeses, just be a little bit careful with them and I'm sorry, my nose is itching, and don't use too much. So back the amounts down some. And let me know what you try and how it works. All right, Raven, I saw your air fryer mushroom video. Could you do one for things like cauliflower? I have one for cauliflower. It's cauliflower General Tso's cauliflower bites, but you don't have to put the sauce on. So I do have one for cauliflower. Mac and cheese bites, that is one of the ones on my list. And jalapeno poppers, I have tested that recipe for 2 years. Seriously, no joke. I mean, not every day or anything like that, but I can't get it to where I want it. But when I do, I will put it out. I promise. Denise, I've never seen the course. It's on your website, correct? Yes, you can go to the homepage and it is on the homepage right at the top. I think it says if you want to look into the course. I'm not very good at promoting things, so I'm not surprised that people haven't heard of it. I haven't even promoted it in Sue? Probably 8 months. Because it's not done yet. Like, it just drives me batty that it's not done. Once it's done, I feel like, all right, now I can start to promote it more. But yeah. Now, I probably missed some questions here and I ran through them fairly quickly here at the end because I just talk so much. I get that comment a lot too. You talk too much. Yep. Yep, I'm not for everyone, that's for sure. All right, guys, any last minute questions or comments or anything before I bid you good night or good day in some instances? And I'll just take a breath. We'll have a moment of silence. All right, I don't see anything coming in. So I think we'll be good to go. I'm always nervous. Why am I nervous? Isn't that silly? I'm always nervous because I feel like we're on a telephone call. And I feel like I'm going to hang up on you right in the middle of you asking a question. I go through this all the time. So I wait to see the good nights. All right. Orange bitters. Jeff got these and I'm sure he got them at the liquor store. But I really liked it. I really did. I really did. Love you too, John. Thank you so much. Barbara, thanks so much. Wendy, so good to see you. Good night, Sharon. Good night, Tamara. Good night, Patricia. Good night, everybody. See you next Tuesday for Tasty Tuesday. Now, that's when I do the cooking. Okay. So that's always fun. And just to wrap this up, we are traveling to Pennsylvania and it's just mom's memorial. So her celebration of life. And we will be gone Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. We're coming back Monday. However, we're flying. So, and Jeff's flying. Okay. So he's flying. He's the pilot. He's flying us up there. And if we hit weather, we might be stuck there. So there is a chance that Tasty Tuesday won't happen, but I think it will. Weather looks good. So, we're going to plan on it. And then I'll let you guys know if something happens. Okay. Thank you so much. And I will say good night now. And I love y'all. Bye-bye.